Hi, my name is Kira. I'm an OpenSciEd teacher and facilitator, and today I'm going to go through lesson 5 with you from the Light and Matter unit. This is a one-day lesson, but it is a big one. So it allows us to take stock of what we've figured out so far about our phenomenon, and then also allows us to think about what are some areas where we might still be a little uncertain, and that can help guide us to our next couple of lessons. So in lesson 4, we figured out that one-way mirrors transmit and reflect light differently than regular mirrors and glass, and that's because of the way the one-way mirror is made. So one-way mirrors have a thin layer of silver that's embedded in a plastic film on glass, and that creates gaps in the silver that allows light to transmit through the glass, but then in the places where silver is located, that light will reflect off of it. So in this lesson, we're wondering, how do light and the one-way mirror interact to cause the one-way mirror phenomenon? This lesson is a putting pieces together and problematizing lesson. It takes one day and about 20 minutes of materials prep. There is not an investigation in this one, nor are devices required, but we will want access to that lesson, the music lesson video from lesson 1. So we're going to start off by revisiting that lesson, the music lesson video from lesson 1. We're going to rewatch that and create a gotta have it checklist, which is where we take stock of all of the things that we think need to be a part of our model to explain what's happening in this phenomenon. So we'll use that gotta have it checklist, and students will create individual models to explain why the music student and the teacher can all see the student. And then we will bring those models to a class consensus discussion about the path that light is traveling to cause this phenomenon. And then we're going to problematize why the student can't see the teacher. We're going to rewatch the video and prepare to model what happens when light from room A shines directly on the one-way mirror. We know that some of that light gets transmitted through the glass toward the teacher. And so there should be an input there into our eyes. So we're wondering why the student can't see the teacher. We're going to model what happens to the light that shines on the teacher, hoping that that will kind of help us figure out this issue with the student not seeing the teacher. And then we're going to navigate to the next lesson, where we are wondering how light inputs are processed as they enter our eyes. And what we figure out is that when light reflects off of the music student and travels to the one-way mirror, about half of that light reflects off of the silver structures back to the student's eyes, and the other half is going to transmit through the transparent parts to the adult's eyes. We also figure out that the light that transmits through the one-way mirror reflects off of the adults and travels to the one-way mirror. About half of that light reflects off of the silver structures back to those adults' eyes, and the other half transmits through the transparent part to the student's eyes. And again, this makes us wonder, why can't the student see the teacher? So in part of our key moments here, we're going to break this down a little bit. So when we create this class consensus model to explain what's seen in our phenomenon, we are going to reach consensus about the path of light and how it travels from the source to the object and reflects off of that. We're going to create a consensus model showing the light inputs and the structure of the one-way mirror. So we're going to see how light interacts with the student, how much light that's reflected off the student transmits through and reflects off of the one-way mirror. We're going to include that silvering and the gaps in the silvering in the middle section of our model. And then we're going to also include the reflected and transmitted light entering the eyes of the student and the teacher. Okay, and then in part 5, we're going to model what happens to the light that shines on the adults. So we're going to identify why the student doesn't see the teacher, but the teacher can see him. And we figure out that whatever amount of light reaches the one-way mirror is going to reduce by half when it transmits through the material. And this model is created together as a class. The teacher is going to kind of record all of the ideas onto the model, and then the students are going to copy that and update their models on their handouts once the teacher and the class has finished the consensus discussion. So this model is created prior to students updating their own models. And then where do we go from here? So we know that there was a small amount of light that reflected off of the teacher and transmitted back through the one-way mirror to the student's eyes. So we're still a little confused why the student can't see the teacher, knowing that there's an input there from the teacher. So we want to know more about how our eyes function when light enters them. All right, so encourage students as they're building up these models. This is kind of our midpoint. We know a lot of stuff. So have students utilize their progress trackers, maybe some data from investigations to help them as they revise their models. If students are feeling overwhelmed by this task of modeling why the people can see the student, help them break that task down into smaller, like more manageable chunks. So talk about like what's happening when light leaves the light source. What happens once the light source hits an object, and go from there. And then utilizing color is going to be important for showing transmission and reflection of light from certain objects in the model. We're going to see kind of some crisscrossing in the middle of our model of light coming from different inputs. And so it's going to be helpful to color code. Be sure that when you're doing that you use high contrast colors so students can differentiate between the light coming from each input. I would use like maybe yellow for the student and maybe purple for the teacher. Don't use like black and blue. Those are too close together and kind of hard for students to differentiate between. Word wall wise, we will be adding to our word wall today. So we're going to be using we're going to be adding the word model in two different forms. So we have the noun word, the noun version of model, which is the actual model that we create. And then we also have the verb version of model, and that is what we use to make sense of phenomenon. Poster-wise, we're going to be referring to our hybrid model from Lesson 3 and our 10 light ray model from Lesson 4 that we just completed. We're also going to utilize that science ideas chart that we've been adding to throughout the unit. There's no materials created specifically for this lesson, but we are going to be adding those word wall signs, and we're going to be creating that model of why the music student and teacher all see the music student, and that's something that we will continue to use throughout the rest of the unit. So I hope this lesson goes really well for you. My students are always really excited to see how far we've come and also identify areas of maybe things that we don't understand quite yet. So I hope it goes well for you, and I'm looking forward to talking you through Lesson 6.